Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making the Monet square, also known as Water Lily square. So we're making this 3-layered flower and then our granny square background to frame it, I guess you could say. So it's quite simple to work up. If you have seen the pattern already, it might seem a little tricky, but it is actually quite simple to work up. In reality, I'll just flip it over and show you the back. You're going to see all my ends now. So there's just a few ends, and we have this open back going on. And you can see from this that it is pretty much a basic granny around the outside. So we're going to make this. So you can make it all in one colour if you prefer. You can make your flower all in one colour, in multicolour. You can do whatever colours you like. I'm going to do 2 colours for my flower and then a background colour. So just grab whatever you want to do for those colours, and hook and scissors and a drink. I've got a cold drink again today. Not my cup of tea. So grab your things and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start on the smallest flower first. It does say in the pattern to use a magic ring. I don't always do a magic ring, but I'm going to today, and I'll just remind you how to do that. So pop your yarn over your hand, wrap it around the first 2 fingers and across in an X over these fingers, trap it there, hook under, over, pull through, and then pull through there to make a little chain. And there we go. This is your magic ring. Okay, so you are going to chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet. So I've already got one chain here. If you don't want to do the magic circle, magic ring, then just do a chain 4 and slip stitch into your first chain to make your ring that way. Okay, so chain 3, so I've already got one here, 2, 3, and then you're going to do 15 double crochet into your ring. Whichever form of ring you are using, just do 15 double crochet, and then adding that to your chain, you will have 16 double crochets. So I will see you in a moment when I have 15, when I've done 15 double crochets and my chain. Okay, when you've done your 15 double crochets, just pull your ring tight. Whichever form of ring you've chosen to do, just pull that tight. And oops, too much yarn. Okay, and then do a slip stitch into your top starting chain. And there we go, 16 double crochets there for the center of our flower. Now we're going to be working into the front loop only on this round. So that's if you remember, you've got on a stitch here, you've got 2 bars. I don't know if you can see that there, if it's going to focus. You've got 2 bars of a stitch. You want to go into the one that's closest to you. Okay, so instead of having 2 bars on your hook, you'll just have the one closest to you. Okay, so what you're going to do is chain 1, which doesn't count as anything, and then in your same stitch, which is actually the top of your chain, don't worry too much about front loop on this one, just do a single crochet in there, and then a single crochet in the front loop of the next stitch, and a single crochet, just making sure I'm going into the right places, a single crochet into the front loop of the 3rd stitch. Oops. Okay, so you have 3 single crochets there in the front loops. Then you're going to do, in the next stitch, you're going to do 5 double crochets in the front loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Gosh, I don't know if you can hear the birds singing outside. They're singing quite merrily tonight. Okay, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the front loop of the next 3, 1, 2 and 3. Oops, there we go, 3, and then you're going to do 5 double crochet in the front loop of the next stitch, and you're going to do this all the way around. So 5 double crochet and then 3 individual single crochets, and then 5 double crochet in the next stitch, then 3 single crochets around all the way to here, and you'll be finishing with 5 double crochet in your last stitch, and I'll meet you back to join your round. Okay, when you've done your 4 sets of 5 double crochet and your 3 single crochets, you're going to slip stitch into your first single crochet, but you don't want to get confused with your chain. So if you can't quite tell, the easiest way is look back here at your first set of 5 double crochet, and then you'll see your first single crochet, second and third, and then you're just going to join into that stitch and do, oops, and do a slip stitch into there, and then fasten off that colour. If you are changing colour for your flower, fasten off and get your second colour ready. Okay, so with your colour B, you are going to join it with a slip stitch into the back loop of any stitch from round 1. So look at the back, you've got these loops all left, you've got a circle of loops. So just pick a stitch and pop your hook in, and then join that new colour with a slip stitch into that back loop. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and that counts as your first double crochet, and then do a second double crochet into that same stitch, and then you are going to do 2 double crochet in each stitch now, working in these back loops. You had 16, remember we started with 16 double crochets, so that means there's 16 back loops here, so we're going to do 2 in each, making 32 double crochet. So just work around in these loops, making sure you've got the right side up, so just fold these petals down and do 2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around until you have 32 double crochets, and I'll meet you back 32 double crochets later. Okay, 32 double crochets later, and you should have a bit of a circle going on now, a bit of a circle on the back here. Okay, so we're going to now make the petals for this second round. Sorry, I never said, just join in with a slip stitch in the top of your chain, just as you have done previously, join into that top chain with the slip stitch. Okay, so this round is going to be pretty much the same as how we did our petals on this first one. So you are going to chain 1, which doesn't count as anything. Then you're going to do a single crochet in that same space, same stitch, top of that chain, and then a single crochet in the next 2 stitches, working in the front loop only. So front loop of the next stitch, do a single crochet, and front loop of the second, do a single crochet. So you've now got 3 single crochets, and then you're going to do 5 double crochet in the front loop of the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, let's do that 4th one again, 4 and 5. Oops, getting in a bit of a pickle, tangle. So 5, and that's your petal, and then 3 single crochets in the front loop. 1, 2. This is working along, 1 in each, 2 and 3. And there we go. So you'll have 3 single crochet and then 5 double crochet in the same stitch and then 3 single crochet. You're going to do this all the way around. You will have 8 petals by the end of it, and you'll be finishing with a petal and then joining into your first single crochet, just as we did on this round here, and you'll have 8 lovely petals. I'll see you back when we've done those. So when you've finished your second layer of flower, it will look something like this, looking pretty with its 8 petals. So I've just slip stitched into my first single crochet and then fastened off, and how pretty is that looking already? I love that. Very pretty, very pretty. Okay, now to join your third colour, you want to stagger your petals a bit, ideally, so that your next petals come in these spaces. So the best way to do that is we're going to join our next colour in the same way that we joined our second colour, into one of these back loops from your round 3. So if you look behind a petal and look for a loop that's sort of somewhere in the middle behind a petal, so behind a petal here rather than in this dip space here, and join into one of these middle stitches with a slip stitch. So let's just do that now. So your slip stitch there, and then you are going to do like you did before. We're going to make a circle, so do a chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch around. You should have 32 double crochet, so just 1 double crochet in every loop until you've done 32 and back at the start. And then as before, you're going to join into your top chain with a slip stitch, so all the way around, 1 double crochet in each, 32 double crochets and a slip stitch. Okay, so just as before, you should have a circle of your new colour on the back, and you can see a little bit of it from the front. So there you go. Now for our next round, sorry, just move my camera. There we go, I think we're in the right place again now. I just had to move and put the fan on, it's getting a bit warm in here. Okay, so we're going to do the petals of this third layer exactly the same as we did previously. The only difference with this is, no, the same is we're going to do 8 petals just as we did on this round here, my lavender colour round. So chain 1, which again counts as nothing, and then do a single crochet in the same place, and then in the front loop only a single crochet in the next 2. Get that front loop, where are we? There we go. So front loop on that one and front loop on the next one, a single crochet. Okay, and then in the next stitch, using the front loop, you're going to do 5 double crochet for your petals, so just as you've done before. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There you go, and then you're going to do 3 single crochets in the front loops, so 1, 2, oops, 2 and 3, and then in the next stitch you're going to do your 5 double crochet, making your petals. So I will see you when you've done 8 petals. There we go, there's our flower part of our square finished. How pretty is that looking, and how simple was it actually to make? Very pretty. So you might just want to give it a bit of a pull out, make it a bit more shaped if it's not looking quite right. There we go. You've got a few ends to sew in, but that's not too bad, not too many. This is how the back's looking. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So it's time to get your background colour, whatever colour that might be. It might be the colour you've just been using. If you've been using the same colour and you want to continue in one colour, I know some of you like using one colour, and that's fine, and sometimes it can look really, really effective. So but if you are doing that, you will need to fasten off and rejoin. So if you're using one colour, fasten off just as you have if you've done different colours. Okay, so I'm going to use I'm going to do a green background again, just because I've got a nice big ball of green here. So get a slip knot on your hook, and we are going to get this beauty started. Okay, if you want to sew in your ends before you do the background, that's absolutely fine, but I'll just bring this one in here to show you that your ends will still be accessible even when you've done your back, because you'll have all this open space here for sewing them in. So don't worry too much about whether you'll not be able to get to it. You will be able to get to it, that's fine. Okay, so what you want to do is turn your work over so you're on the back, and then around any of these stitches here, these posts for your double crochet posts, around any of those you want to do a slip stitch with your new colour, so, or rejoin your previous colour. So I'm going to go in the middle of a petal again, so join in with a slip stitch around that post, literally any stitch anywhere, it doesn't matter, absolutely fine. And then when you've joined in around that post, you're going to do eight chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you're going to count 7 stitches. So these double crochet stitches of round 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're going to do your a slip stitch around the next stitch. So around this next post, do a slip stitch. Okay, and then another chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. There we go. And then again count 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a slip stitch around the 8th stitch. Do this twice more. Chain 8, skip 7, slip stitch, and then a last chain 8, and then just slip stitch around this first slip stitch, and I'll see you back when you've got your 4 sets of chains. Okay, once you've done this, I know it's looking a bit of a mess so far with all your ends, but just don't worry about them, just tuck those in the middle there away. So what you're going to do now is turn your work over back to the right side, and you are going to slip stitch over into this first chain space, okay, and then you're going to do a chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and then you're going to do 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet, and then a chain 1, and then do 6 double crochet, because that first time you had your chain 3, so 6 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, oops, gosh, my work keeps jumping off my hook today, not quite sure what that's all about. 4, how many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, just going to spread those along this chain space. There we go. Okay, then you're going to move straight over to your next chain space, and you're going to do exactly the same. You're going to do 6 double crochet, chain 1, 6 double crochet, then move over to your next chain, do exactly the same all the way around. So you will have 48 double crochet and 4 chain 1s when you've finished. 6, 1, 6. And as you've probably already guessed, you're going to do a slip stitch in your top chain of 3 to finish that round off. So we've started to frame our flower and create our background. So we've got this square on the back now. Okay, so now we're going to turn this into a bit of a basic granny square. The only difference to the basic granny square is that we're not going to be doing chains in between our sets of 3 double crochets. That's basically the only difference. So it's lovely and simple, and I'm going to show you how just now. So to have our yarn in the correct place, we're going to do a slip stitch in the next stitch, slip stitch in the next, and then slip stitch between the next 2 double crochets. We're going to work in the spaces between double crochets. So you should have 3 double crochet left. Okay, so in this space here before those 3, do a chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and then 2 double crochet in that same space, and that's your first set of 3. And then you're going to move straight across to your corner chain 1, so skip these 3, straight across, and you're going to do 3 double crochet, 3, and then a chain 1, and that's your corner space. So I'm just doing a slightly larger chain than I normally would, and then you're going to do 3 more double crochet into that corner, and that is your corner. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and then you are going to skip 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and in between these 2 you're going to do 3 double crochet. So in the normal granny square you would do chains between these, but we're not doing that today. And then you're going to skip the next 3 double crochet. So this will be where your join was here. So you're going to do 3 double crochet in between the next 2 there. 1, 2, 3. So if you can count to 3, you're doing well for this pattern now, because you're going to skip the next 1, 2, 3 and do 3 double crochet between the next 3. So skip 3, do 3 double crochet, skip 3, this is your corner, do 3 double crochet, 2 and 3, chain 1, 3 double crochet. See, 1, 2, 3. All you need to count to is 3. Nice and simple. Just trying to sort my yarn out here. So skip 3, 1, 2, 3, then 3 double crochet, and you're going to do this all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and then, believe it or not, you're going to join with a slip stitch into your top chain. So skip 3, 3 double crochet, making sure to go in between the double crochets, not in the top. Okay, so I'll leave you to do this last side and 2 half sides, and I'll see you back around the end. So here we go. This is the end of round 9. And how good is that looking? Looking good. Lovely square. And on the back you should have this, your two rows of background colour. So on to our next round, which if you're sort of following the pattern as well, I know some of you like to follow the pattern as well as the video, so you can get used to reading patterns. We are on round 10 now, and round 10 is exactly the same as round 9 that we've just done, but I'll get you started because you need to do your slip stitches again. So slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch in 1 and slip stitch in 2, and then slip stitch between your next 2. Now it'd be easier now because you've got these sets of 3, which are also known as shells. So you've got these sets of 3. If I lay this down you can probably see it better. So you've got these natural gaps in between. So do a slip stitch into there and chain 3 for your first double crochet, and then do 2 more double crochets in this space, and then over to your corner, the same as before, 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet, 2, oops, where am I, 2 and 3. Okay, and then as I said, it's easier to know where you're going to be working. You're just going to be working in these natural gaps now. You don't even have to count to 3. So just work into your next gap and do your 3 double crochet. Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my work jumping off? Change hooks next time, I think. Or I'm trying to work too fast, maybe that's my problem. Okay, so into the next one, 3 double crochet. So just do this all the way around until the end, just as before, and then at the end slip stitch into your top, chain 3. Simple as that. So I'm going to leave you to work around your square, and I will leave you so you don't have to keep watching my work jumping off my hook. Does this happen to anyone else? Does your work jump off your hook? If so, tell me below, make me know that I'm not on my own here. Okay, so your next corner, 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. I'll see you back around start, end, place. Okay, so here is the end of round 10. How pretty is that looking? You might need to smooth your flower out a bit because it probably gets a bit squashed when we're working over it. So this is the end of round 10. Now there is an optional round 11 if you need it for sides, and that suggests a single crochet border, which is what I did on here. You can see this small single crochet border. This square actually still isn't quite up to size, so I'm probably going to do another single crochet border on that as well. But I think I'm actually going to do another row exactly like I've done here, quite like that. But the official pattern tells you to do a single crochet round, so you chain 1 and then you do a single crochet in every stitch, and in your corner you do single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then you do that all the way around, 1 single crochet in every stitch. But that won't make my square quite big enough, so because I've measured and my square is 5 inches, there we go, it's about 5 inches, so I need another inch. So I'm going to do what I've just done. If you're never quite sure how big you need your border to be, whether to do a single or half double or double crochet, as we often tell you, just do whatever size you need. If you're not sure, then I know I need an inch, so what I'm going to do, measure this last row of double crochet, and you can see that's about 1/2 inch. So if I add that on both sides, that will be the extra inch that I need. So I know I need half double crochet. If you've only got half an inch, then you know that would be too much because you've got it on both sides. So you probably want to go down to a half or a single. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly the same as I've done here. So I'm going to slip stitch across the next 2 stitches and then start in my space here. So slip stitch the next 2 stitches and into the space. That's what I'm going to do. If you want to do a single crochet border, by all means go ahead, or whatever size border you need to do for your size, just go ahead and do that. I'm going to start doing this now because then I'm going to just fill you in. Oops, that's a single crochet. Fill you in on a few details as always. So I'm just going to slip stitch across, just to remind you if you want to do this way. Okay, 2 slip stitches and then a 3rd slip stitch into that space, and then that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so start your round however you choose, and away you go. So, are you a regular YouTube viewer? Do you regularly watch our videos on our squares? Have you followed us from day one, square one? Tell me in the comments below if you've been following us from day one, or even not from day one but from square one, even if you started only a month ago. Have you been following us through every square? And have you ever watched it and thought, actually, do you know what? I could do that. I could do one of those videos. Have you watched and been inspired? Do you sit and crochet and speak out loud, almost as if you are teaching someone how to make your square? If you have ever thought, I could do that, or I'd like to have a go at doing that, if you've ever sat and spoken out loud, almost as if you're teaching someone how to do it, then you are just the person that needs to get in touch with me. Because, as you may have noticed, if you have been following us for a while, at the moment we only have myself and Sammy. Sammy is the Australian accent that you hear, and at the moment it is just the 2 of us doing the videos, which, as you can imagine, is quite a commitment. We love doing it, but it is quite a commitment, as you can probably imagine. Think of how long it takes you to make your square, and remember, we have to do it all on video. So we would love to have more people on our video team. So if you have even an inkling that you'd like to give it a go, please get in touch with me. If you're in the Facebook group, send me a message. If you're not in the Facebook group, leave a comment below and we will work out a way of getting in touch with you. All you need to do, if you're interested, all you need to do is choose a square that you really like and record yourself teaching a couple of rounds, or even just a round. Just record yourself talking through how to do one of those rounds. Just 2 or 3 minutes long, 5 minutes long, however, and then you can send it to me, and we can go from there. It would be lovely to have some of you join us on our video team. We love it. We love what we do, and it's great fun. And you get to talk to yourself, which is great. No one can complain that you're talking to yourself. So I'm going to stop waffling. I am just going to finish up this part of the square, and what I'm going to do is just say that if you are not in the Facebook group, the details are in that description below, just below the screen and the title. And if you haven't already subscribed, click that subscribe button and the bell. You can be notified as soon as the videos go up. I try and put them up at midnight UK time. Sometimes they're not always on time, but that's what we endeavour to do. So click that bell and you'll know exactly when they go up. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And as always, if you have found this video useful and helpful, please click that like button and give us a thumbs up. And in the meantime, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold. I'll have this beauty up on the final screen for you to see. Have a great day.